The night it began, no one expected disaster. The rain fell like it always did in the rainy season, a drizzle tapping roofs, playful at first. Children ran outside, splashing barefoot in puddles. Farmers returned late from their fields, smiling, believing the rain was a blessing. But this was no ordinary rain. By nightfall, the skies were swollen with black clouds. Lightning streaked across the horizon like jagged scars. The wind howled with an anger that rattled doors and sent animals scurrying into corners. In the small Okiki household, the father, Chiki, frowned as water seeped under their front door. He had seen many rains before, but this felt different. His wife, Ngozi, tried to calm the children as thunder shook their little home. "Papa, will the rain stop soon?" the youngest boy, Ikenna, asked, eyes wide. Chike forced a smile. "Yes, my son, it's just a storm." But deep down, he wasn't sure. By midnight, the river had burst its banks. Water surged through the village like a wild beast. Homes crumbled, livestock floated away, and voices echoed in the darkness, voices calling for help that would never come. The Okiki family scrambled onto their roof. Shivering, soaked, the children clung to their mother as the storm raged. From the roof, they could see rooftops being ripped away. Neighbors swept into the night. The world had turned into a raging sea. The water climbed higher. Each passing minute felt like death drawing closer. "Daddy," Ikenna's small voice quivered. "Are we going to die?" The question pierced Cheek's heart. He wanted to say no. He wanted to promise safety. But the water was still rising, and then, in desperation, Chiki found a rope. His plan was unthinkable. If they drowned, at least they would drown tied together. No child left alone. No one lost to the river. Ngozi gasped when she saw him holding the rope. "No," she cried. "Don't let them see us give up. Don't let them believe it's over." Her tears mixed with the rain. The children sobbed. For a long moment, the family sat together in silence, listening to the storm. The thunder roared, the wind screamed, and despair settled over them like a heavy cloak. And then, it happened. A flicker of light in the distance. At first, Cheek thought it was lightning. But no, this was steady, warm, swaying. A lantern. Through the raging waters, a boat was gliding toward them. "Look," Ngozi gasped. The children huddled closer, eyes wide with both hope and fear. Who would sail into a flood at midnight? A rescuer? A thief? A spirit? As the lantern drew closer, the outline of a tall man emerged. Broad shoulders, soaked clothes, a wide hat shadowing his face. He rowed with slow, steady strokes, as if the raging storm were nothing but a whisper to him. The boat stopped beside their roof. The man said nothing. He only extended his hand. The stranger's silence was more terrifying than the storm. The Okiki family stared at him, frozen. His face was hidden in shadow, his lantern glowing faintly against the floodwaters. The only sound was the crashing river around them. Cheek's heart raced. Every story he had heard about thieves who preyed on villages, about restless spirits roaming in storms, flooded his mind. Who was this man? Why was he here? The stranger's hand remained outstretched. Steady. Patient. Chiki looked at his wife. She nodded, her eyes brimming with tears. He made a choice. Gently, he lowered his eldest son into the boat. The stranger lifted the boy with one hand, as if the child weighed nothing. He placed him carefully in the boat, then reached out again. Still silent. One by one, the children were passed down. Each time, the man's strength seemed unearthly. No matter how heavy the rain, no matter how the boat rocked, his grip never faltered. Finally, Ngozi climbed in, clutching the youngest child. Chiki hesitated. He was the last one left. Lightning split the sky, and for the briefest moment, he thought he saw the man's face. Stern, ageless, eyes that seemed to pierce through the storm itself. And then the light faded. His features were gone, swallowed by shadow. Cheeky stepped into the boat. The stranger rowed, but the boat did not move like any boat Cheek had ever seen. The river raged, hurling debris, rooftops, tree trunks, broken walls. Yet the boat glided smoothly, untouched, as if an invisible force parted the waters. The children huddled together, staring at the stranger. Ngozi whispered prayers. Cheeky whispered too. "God bless you, whoever you are." The man did not answer. His silence was heavier than words. As they drifted through the night, they passed sights that would haunt them forever. A neighbor clinging to a tree, swept away in an instant. A goat bleeding weakly before vanishing beneath the flood. The faint cries of a baby somewhere in the dark, unanswered. But the boat never stopped. The stranger never looked aside. His focus was only forward. Finally, after what felt like hours, they reached higher ground. Dry land. The man helped them out of the boat one by one. His grip was steady, almost gentle. When the last child touched the ground, Cheeky turned to thank him. But the boat was empty. The lantern drifted alone on the water. The oars floated silently nearby. The man was gone. "Papa," the eldest whispered. "Where did he go?" No one answered. That night, the Okiki family wept and embraced, alive but shaken. When the villagers gathered at dawn, they told the story of their rescuer. But no one had seen a boat on the river. No one knew the man they described. And no fisherman in the village would have dared sail into a storm like that. Some whispered it was a spirit. Others said it was an angel. But Cheeky believed something deeper. This man was sent to us. And so the legend of the stranger at midnight was born. Days turned into weeks. The floodwaters receded, but the village was never the same. Homes were gone. Families mourned. And yet, in the heart of loss, one story spread like fire. The story of the Okiki family, saved by the silent man at midnight. People argued. Some said he was a lost traveler. Others swore he was a spirit of the river, repaying a debt. A few claimed he was a guardian angel. But no one could explain how the boat had glided untouched, how he had vanished, how no one else had seen him. For the Okikis, life moved on, but they never forgot. Years later, the children grew up. Each one carried the memory of that night. Ikenna, the youngest, became a man who told the story wherever he went. He described the lantern, the silence, the hand that pulled him from the storm. And every time, people listened. Some cried, some doubted, but none could ignore the power of the tale. It became more than a story. It became a symbol. Whenever someone in the village faced despair, they remembered, help can come, even in the darkest hour, even from where you least expect it. And sometimes, late at night, when storms rattled the village once more, people would glance at the river. Some swore they saw a faint lantern drifting. Some swore they heard the sound of oars, steady against the current. But when they looked closer, there was nothing. The stranger at midnight was never seen again, but he was never forgotten. And to this day, when the storms rise and fear grips the village, mothers whisper to their children, "Don't be afraid, the stranger will come, just hold on."